Today on Obidati Family TV. This is Diaspora Diary, and my name is P. Catch. With me in the studio are other co-hosts. By my right is
Ife Grace.
yes, Grace and
I am Noble.
Noble. All right, guys. Today we're going to be talking to Nigerians in the diaspora that are in support of the Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed presidency. All right, joining us all the way from Cape Town, South Africa, is Daniel. Hello, Mr. Daniel.
Hi, good afternoon, Bikash.
Yes. How is the weather in Cape Town today?
Currently, the weather is hot. We are waiting for winter to set in the next few months.
Okay, interesting. Let's talk about the coming elections in Nigeria. All right. First of all, I'd like to know how long you've been in South Africa, and when was the last time you visited Nigeria?
Well, actually, I've been in South Africa for 2.5 years, and then I was in Nigeria just 6 months ago.
Okay, interesting. All right. Talking about the coming elections, who do you think is the best man for the job of the president of Nigeria?
I don't think that's a tough question. Even someone in primary six right now, barely looking at the candidates, it's obvious that Peter Obi is the best candidate. He's the only contender based on his qualifications, based on what he has done in the past, even based on the way he even addresses Nigerians. He's someone who has, over the years, make our time to discuss issues bedeviling Nigeria and providing solutions. So this is somebody who, since at least 2016, has been very, very focal on the mainstream media, both on television, radio, and we've seen him on the platform talking about Nigeria's problems and also providing solutions. So I think that this time around that he's providing himself to staff, I think that that is the best thing that's ever happened to Nigeria, having someone in the caliber of Peter Obi presenting himself to govern Nigeria. I think I'm appealing to Nigeria to take advantage of this opportunity because I'm not sure in the history of Nigeria this kind of opportunity has ever existed before. So yes, I know there are many other candidates, but I think Peter Obi is the best candidate. He's the most competent. He's the most qualified, both academically and otherwise. So for me, Peter Obi is the man for Nigeria president come just in the next few days, about today's second, so just in the next 23 days, we'll be having the election. So I think that everyone who wants the progress of Nigeria, everyone who wants Nigeria to be in the League of Nations doing very well should vote Peter Obi. Thank you.
All right, no doubt Mr. Peter Obi is the perfect person for the job at this moment. But I would like to know, in your own opinion, what makes him different from the other contenders? We have about maybe 4 parties in the front line of these elections. What makes Mr. Peter Obi stand out from the rest?
Okay, well, going back to what I've said before, what makes Peter Obi unique is his sense of understanding about the problems Nigeria is facing today. Peter Obi he's an economist, first and foremost, and then he's also a development expert. We've seen him govern Anambra State. When he won the race in courts, we know the history of Anambra State. And then he started by taking data, trying to identify the problems bedeviling his state. So he didn't just go in to say, oh, I'm now the governor, let me go and build road here, or, doing things at random. He started to look at data and say, what are the immediate problems bedeviling my people? What are the human development index I need to look at? What kind of change should I drive in this state? And that's how, in a matter of 4 or 5 years, we saw the transformation he did in Anambra. So beyond that, anyway, like I said earlier, if you look at how Peter Obi has been addressing Nigerians, if you look at the way he discusses issues, he faces them head on. he has been the one advocating that we need to change our revamp system. For example, today, complaining about a whole lot of hardship, complaining about banditry, terrorism. But when you see that Nigeria still has one of the highest out of school children, then that should be a call for concern. And people have said, first and foremost, when I become the president of this country, I'm going to revamp our educational system. He is going to also make sure that we reduce school children, that people can go to school, people can feed, people can at least have infrastructure, things like health. So these are very, very important for Nigerians. These things, for me, I think are one of the reasons why I have been giving him support, because he has a way of providing this information with data. He doesn't just come and say, I'm going to alleviate poverty, but he's looking at what are the key things making people poor in Nigeria. What is it that we are not doing well? For example, you see in the case of the power sector, he single-handedly funded his trip to many other countries to consult, to identify how they've been able to solve their power problems. This particular person has been interfacing with Nigerian students, interfacing with different classes of people in Nigeria, talking to them directly. He has been to the IDP camps, talking to them directly, trying to identify the key problems facing them. And someone who is able to make this commitment will definitely bring the transformation that is needed, because at least he knows the problem head on. He's not someone who is sitting somewhere in an office and waiting for people to come and ask him, this is what we identified. He interfaces with you to know, okay, what is the problem you're facing? And how do you want government to come in? How do you want government to help you solve this problem? And that is the kind of leadership I think Nigeria should look out for, not someone who sits in Abuja and be dishing out others. He has done this before in Anambra, because if you go back to history, even listening to people from Anambra, you're going to hear similar stories about what he did in the educational sector, how he addressed people in the health sector, how he also drove economic change in Anambra and industrialization. So this is what we need right now in Nigeria. And that is why I feel P2B is the best bet for any progressive Nigerian to vote for him during the election. Thank you.
All right. I'd like to know, how influential are Nigerians in diaspora to the upcoming presidential elections? What impact do you think Nigerians in diaspora would have in these coming elections?
Yeah, the Nigerians have a very critical role to play in terms of driving narrative back home. Yes, I know this is election period and people are going everywhere to campaign, but I think diasporans, one advantage they have is that they are enlightened and they can be able to piece one or two together, interrogate some of the promises, some of the campaign promises, some of the manifestos people are rolling out to Nigerians. And then because the people in diaspora are Nigerians, they are concerned about Nigeria. And whether directly or indirectly, the hardship Nigerians are facing today is also affecting diasporas as well. So, and I think that I want to sit comfortably and watch things to continue to degrade. That is why I've seen a whole lot of diaspora activism in terms of encouraging people, in terms of advocating that people should go and collect their PVC. I was in Nigeria about a little over 6 months ago. I had to leave my schedule to go and encourage people to get their PVC. I went to the field to make sure that people come queue and collect their PVC, to register for PVC. I collected data and immediately INEC started issuing the PVC. I had to send out messages to people to say, hey, remember you registered for this PVC and you go and collect your PVC at so and so venue. So these are some of the things that I think some diasporans are doing. Some are contributing financially. Remember elections, you don't run elections freely, you need finance. So many diasporans are committing to funding this beautiful project. Some has been so many support groups, while some are also canvassing support in their rural community. On many occasions, I've done this as well. I just about 2 weeks ago, remember the deadline that INEC said, if you don't come and collect your PVC in your ward, you have to go to the local governments. Immediately that day, I said, no, you guys cannot take this back to the local government, because if you factor in the challenges and difficulties of people going to the local government headquarters, I suggested that maybe we need to keep this with someone that can be trusted. And then please, if you know you haven't collected your PVC, go to this place and go and collect your PVC instead of spending thousands of naira going to the local government headquarters. On the same breath, we've had cases of educating people. See, this election is very, very. You see, the price of fuel now is expensive. The price of garri is expensive. The price of beans is expensive. You are suffering insecurity. Kidnapping is on the high side. This is why you should not continue this part of somebody coming to come and give you stuff and then you vote for them. This is why you need to vote credible people, because if you had voted credible people in the past, you will not be going through this hardship. So there's always a constant communication between I and my family back home. There's always a constant communication between I and people, friends and relatives across Nigeria, educating and advocating that they should do the right thing this time. And these are some of the easiest roles I think people in diaspora can play. Find out what is happening in your local government, in your community. Sure, starting from your polling unit in your village, find out what is happening there. How many people in that community have their PVC? If they do not have their PVC, what are the bottlenecks that is making them to not have their PVC? And those who have collected their PVC, are you talking to them to make sure that on election day they are going to go out? And I was speaking with a friend yesterday, and then he told me, remember, my birthday is on 25th on election. I said, oh, wow, man, that will be fun. Why not throw a party? A party at the polling unit. This is just like a joke, not like to go and disrupt, but remember, this is a village. So we all know ourselves. So you can, while you are voting, be happy, be merry, go and vote in your candidates. And also, you understand, instead of saying, oh, my birthday, I'm not going out, stuff like that. So, saying things to encourage them to make sure that day they'll be active and come out and vote. I think that is the most important thing the diaspora should do right now. I know Nigerians are tired. I know Nigerians some of them are afraid. I've gotten cases of insecurity, people complaining that they are not so sure of the security on that very day. And I say, see, on election day, there is always no movement. It is very difficult for you to move from one location to another, except maybe you're a government personnel or a NEC personnel or a military personnel. So the only thing is, anybody that wants to cause chaos that day, probably, unless they have been there before, but moving from one location to another will not be very, very easy. So the only thing people need to do is to come out en masse and vote at the polling unit, stay together, plan and do everything that is needed on that very day. And after the election, follow up with the election and make sure that everything that needs to be done by ENEC is done before you people leave the venue. So these are some of the words and encouragement that we need to give to people back home to make sure that on that very day, they will come out in mass, because I've always advocated that if we shout P2B, and on election day, we do not come out in mass to vote, then I'm not sure we are doing any good. So at the end of the day, what we want from Nigerians is on election day, sacrifice it as a day. Just see it as a day of redemption. Just see it as a day of commitment, as a day of, fighting for your freedom, your own commitment to better Nigeria. Come out, take your PVC, eat at home, go to the polling unit, cast your vote, wait for accreditation. When you are accredited, cast your vote. If you finish casting your vote, wait for others to cast your vote and make sure that everything that needs to be done by ENEC and the polling unit is done before you can go home. Luckily for us, these polling units are not so far from our residences. So it should not be something that you are not traveling thousands of kilometers. Yes, I understand there are cases where people are traveling thousands of kilometers, maybe because, not necessarily just hundreds of kilometers, maybe because they choose a different polling unit. But it is obvious that you definitely stay close to where you'll be casting your votes. And it is very, very important that people come out en masse and vote. If you're married, especially to our women, I'm appealing to each and everybody, come out en masse and vote. Enough of watching movies. I'm not saying you shouldn't do that. You have every other day to do this. Enough of watching movies on election day. Enough of watching football on election day. This is the only time that we have. This is the only day that we have to vote. Just one task in 4 years. So please come out en masse and vote P2B. I'm very sure you are convinced that P2B is the right candidate. And the only thing that is needed from you after staying in the sun, after dancing around, is to make sure that on the 25th of February, come out and cast your vote, protect your vote, and let your vote count. Thank you.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Daniel. It's good to know you are playing your own role in the best possible of ways. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Mr. Daniel, that is absolutely right. My question is, according to the statistics, a lot of youth that registered for their PVC has not gone back to collect their voters card. So is there any other strategies to do that apart from going to collect it and sharing it or getting it on events, something like that? Are there any other strategies so that I could reach the masses?
Okay, I think that I wouldn't say, at least for some of the people I've interacted with, they will go to INEC and say that they couldn't find their PVC. I think that also on INEC to sort out some of these issues. I was watching, was it Shion Working Biologist show either 2 or 3 days ago, and then the INEC staff was there. And then he was being questioned with regards to people complaining that they've been to INEC office and they couldn't find their PVC. So I know there are cases whereby some Nigerians have not gone to go and collect their PVC. But if you haven't gone to collect your PVC right now, I think the best place to go is to go to INEC office at the local government. If you know you don't have the wherewithal, maybe funding challenges, you can actually ask around, say people, hey, I need to go and do this. Can you help me with money? Let me go and get this. And then INEC too needs to be honest with Nigerians. Why is it that some people are finding it difficult to collect their PVC? Why is it that people will go to the we go to INEC office and they will tell them they couldn't find their PVC? But these people are duly registered with INEC. So, this is a very important election. We don't want us to create anything, but I think that INEC needs to come out clear and figure out how to address this problem. But for people who haven't collected PVC, maybe they haven't even gone to INEC office to check, the best thing they can do is to go to INEC office first and confirm that their PVC is there. If their PVC is there, then they should collect it. If their PVC is not there, then we can begin to know they should also raise it up and say, oh, I went to INEC office. I went to this polling unit where I entered, or because now it's at the local government. I went there, then I couldn't find it. And then we'll know, okay, fine, these people registered, but unfortunately, INEC has not made their PVC available. And if INEC has not made their PVC available, then INEC should give us feedback on what can be done from now and before the elections on how these people can get their PVC. Thank you.
Okay, that is absolutely great. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel Abel. Thank you for your contribution so far. But right now, we'll be going on a very short break. And when we come back, we will continue with the discussion on the role the Nigerians in the diaspora are playing in this coming elections. Please don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, LP, can you get a vote? Labour Party, Labour Party, Labour say, Mama Papa na want, Labour Party, Mama Papa na want, Labour say, Mama Papa na want, Labour Party, Mama Papa na want, Labour Party.
Mr. Peter Obi's administration built from scratch Chukwuemeka Odumegwu University Teaching Hospital with 25 building structures. His government funded transformation of massive infrastructural development, accreditation of 12 health institutions and 2 hospitals, and also built 10 maternal and childcare centers across the state. He is the first governor to purchase medical equipment worth over 135 million naira and 50 ambulances for the health sector in Anambra State, which remain functional till today. He built and equipped Dr. Jonwilo Heart Center in St. Joseph Hospital, Adazinnuku, where heart operations are performed. Anambra State is the first state in Nigeria to distribute more than 30,000 computers to secondary schools. Mr. Peter Obi distributed about 700 buses to secondary schools in Anambra State and built 200 primary school blocks. He donated the sum of 300 million naira to Anglican churches and 440 million naira to Roman Catholic churches to rehabilitate their missionary schools. During his tenure, he gave 1 million naira each to more than 160 first-class graduates. To promote the reading culture in the state, he went ahead to build a well-equipped library known as Prof. Kennedy DK Library, Awka. He also rehabilitated the divisional library in Onitsha and gave 500,000 naira to each secondary school in the state to provide library materials. This boosted the student performance from the 26th position in Nigeria to the first position. The security improvement was exceptional as he provided security vehicles to 177 communities in the state. He cleared pension and gratuity owed since 1990 to the tune of about 37 billion naira and also paid monthly stipends to the elderly in the state. Mr. P. built the first secretariat complex in Anambra State to house the various Anambra State government ministries that were scattered all over the state. His good governance attracted the second largest brewery in the world, known as Sabmela, to build their first greenfield facility in the state. He was recognized by the Millennium Development Goals (MDG) as the best governor in the implementation of their programs in Nigeria. P. constructed 2 bridges across the popular Agulu Lake in Anyocha local government area of Anambra State at the cost of 2 billion naira. He funded Agulu Lake Hotel Project, Golden Tulip, and reconstruction of Opaiweka bridges at the axis of Enugu-Onitsha Expressway with 6 lanes. P. constructed 800 km of road network between rural and urban areas. Some of the roads include Ibariam Internal Road, Ekulobia Ezinifite Road, Niger Drive Onitsha, Ifite Dunu Road, construction of Zik Avenue and Mpo Flyover, 30 verifiable bridges, Ezu Ebenebe Bridge, Oka North, Isu Anyocha Bridge, Opaka River Bridge, pedestrian bridge at permanent site Unizik Junction, Oka. He created industrial parks as catalysts for industrialization. He constructed and commissioned the Governor's Lodge at Annex Onitsha, FMR Customary Court of Appeal Complex, High Court buildings at Nnewi and Ogidi, Judges' Quarters at Onitsha. His visionary leadership brought unprecedented transformation to the local government in Anambra State. He made provision for 1.2 billion naira credit facilities to farmers in the state and cleared a 20 million naira debt owed banks as a result of the 2012 flood devastation. P2B's administration purchased 90 buses and taxis for Anis Mass Transit Company. He adopted the best practice and provided over 300 million naira worth of waste evacuation trucks. The Debt Management Office rated Anambra as the least indebted state in Nigeria. Mr. P2B handed 75 billion naira to his successor.
You're welcome back to the program Diaspora Diary on Obidati family. Before the break, we were talking to Mr. Daniel Ebo, all the way from Cape Town, South Africa, and he's been sharing with us the role the diasporans are playing in these elections. All right, Mr. Daniel, the obedience movement started a couple of months ago, and it's been waxing strong. We saw the 1 million man marches all across Nigeria, and even outside Nigeria, we saw obedience come out to, show support for Mr. Peter Obi. What more do you think the obedience movement should do right now, both those that are home and those that are abroad, to ensure that Mr. Peter Obi emerges the winner of this election?
Okay, thank you, Pikash. What obedience needs to do now is to intensify the campaign this time around by reaching out to people in the grassroots, people in the rural communities. And then again, the middle class, if you look at the performance of the voting data in Nigeria, especially in southern Nigeria, there's always this low voter turnout. So we need to make sure that everybody, intensify, put pressure on them to come out on election day to vote. And then if you notice during the PVC registration, the last lap of the PVC registration, there was this, not outrage, there was this intense effort by Obidati people to come out en mass, going from places to places, telling people, hey, come out, go and collect your PVC, go and register for your PVC, So we need to do that as well. And then on election day, I know some of the Obidati people will be at the polling units as ad hoc staff, not really ad hoc staff, it's the party agents. Beyond that, those who are on the streets, those who live close to the polling units should take it as a responsibility to go to house by house on election day, tell people, hey, come out, it's time. These people are here. These INEC people are already at the polling units. Oh yeah, go and queue. Let's all go and queue and vote for our candidate. Yes, I know an election campaign is going to stop, but remember, this is a movement, it's a very large movement. So in almost every house, there is an Obidati. So if you're in your house that day, you need to talk to your family members. Tell them, oh, it's time. Let's all go. And, just like on a Sundays, you see how parents used to do, touch their children. Hey, wake up. Let's go to church. Let's go to morning mass. We need to also do something like that on election day. It's time for election. Go, let's go and vote P2B. Even if I know definitely there will be a whole lot of bottlenecks, issues, challenges, but be that support system, be that person that tell them, oh, don't go. Remember, we are doing this for a better Nigeria. Remember, we are doing this because we don't like the hardship we faced over the last 8 years of the Buhari administration. So I think these are some of the things that we can do. Intensify, keep talking to people, just like right now. Keep talking to people. Find out exactly why some people do not have their PVC. Find out those who have PVC. Are they really at the right are they located at the right place that they're supposed to cast their vote? Or has there been a whole lot of issues that has come up that is now going to stop them from going to the polling unit, to the right polling unit to cast their vote? So you need to find out, okay, hey, where's your polling unit? Where do you live? Confirm that their polling unit is close to where they live. If it is not close, then you have to advise them to find alternatives, maybe moving closer to their polling unit on election day because there will be no movement, something like that. And then these other things that I've said earlier. But irrespective of that, we need to intensify our campaign by talking to people, beyond. I know a whole lot of work is happening right now on social media, but make sure you have some kind of personal conversation with the people close to you. Today we have access to internet, so you don't necessarily need to move around. Just WhatsApp or Instagram, any of this. You can talk to your friends. Find out if they have PVC. And if they have PVC, confirm that they are located where their location, where their base is close to their polling unit, and they are not going to have bottlenecks moving from their location to the polling units. And for those who probably registered in the rural area, are they currently in the rural area? So if they are not in the rural area, then you have to advise them to leave their location, their present location, a day or two before the election, so that they can be able to situate themselves at the right place. So these are some of the things. Remember, the idea is to make sure we maximize, take advantage of it, make sure that we reduce the bottlenecks, challenges people might face that will discourage them from coming out to vote on election day. So these are the things that we need to consider right now.
Okay.
Just on that part. Yeah.
Okay. So I'm just picking some things from what you're saying. You're saying that the efforts need to be intensified now as we draw down to the election day, okay? And people should start talking to their neighbors door to door, okay, and preaching the movement to them. All right, thank you very much, Mr. Daniel. I think this is all we can take from you today. Thank you for the efforts that you have put into the movement, and we commend you to, continue to do that. Just like you said, intensify, okay, in your own words. I want to know, are you going to be coming back to vote on election day?
Yeah, unfortunately, I will not be able to make it this time. I already planned, but my work, actually, I'm going to be busy. I'm going to be traveling. I have a workshop on that day of election. And this is something I've been looking out for over the last 5 years. So there's a total clash. So
how are you going to make up for this absence?
Already, like I told you, I started by making sure that everybody in my ward have their PVC. So, and then, then what thing that has happened is that we've been able to have some kind of agreement. Even people in other political parties already know that Obi is the person for the presidency, whether you are in PDP, whether you are in APC, whether you are in anything that you can think of. The presidency is Peter Obi, Labour Party. So after that, you can do whatever thing that you want to do. And then my family members already have their PVC. And then those who couldn't get it already have a point of contact where they can go in the community to go and collect their PVC instead of spending money to be going from one place to the other, chasing INEC to get their PVC. And I think that is something that other communities need to take advantage of. Like I said, if you find out who the challenge is, what is holding people from collecting their PVC, is it that the PVC is no longer close to them? If it's very far away, then mobilize people in your community, mobilize the town union president or the priest to go with INEC to collect this PVC so that people in the rural, I'm particularly concerned about the rural community because remember, these are the people who usually come out in mass to vote. So we need to also make sure that they are not denied these rights, that PVC is held. And for the middle class, please, I'm begging with you all, just forfeit an hours of television that day and hours of resting. Make sure that you come out, spend just 10 hours, and let's bring the needed change that we want. Thank you very much.
All right. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Mr. Daniel Abel from Cape Town, South Africa.
All right, thank you very much. I'm happy with what you guys are doing. I hope that in the next 3 or so weeks, or in the next 3 or 4 weeks, we are going to celebrate the victory of our candidate.
Yes, we all hope so. All right, guys, Grace and Noble, what do you have to say, from that interview with Mr. Daniel?
It's been a lovely one, I must say, and it's really good to know that some Nigerians in diaspora are making their own impact in their own way. It's a lovely one, and then I'm really proud of Mr. Daniel Abel. It's not easy being in Cape Town and then coming down here to play his own part. It's lovely, and then this is also to encourage other Nigerians in diaspora. Wherever you are, you can equally make an impact. You are not too far. You can do it through social media. You can come back in person.
Okay, all right. What about you, Grace? What do you have to say?
That's absolutely true. Mr. Daniel, you really did a great job at breaking down everything. So I think the best, we only have few days, and according to INEC, we have to Sunday to go collect our PVC. So I think you really did the best in breaking down everything.
All right. You had everything that Daniel said, and the co-hosts in the studio said as well. If you haven't picked your PVC, please go out and pick them. I hear the deadline is this Sunday, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sunday. Okay,
so you have from now till Sunday to pick your PVCs. Please rush down to the local government and pick your PVCs and get ready. Get ready to vote. We have less than 24 days to the election day. So get ready to go out and cast your vote on that day. All right, do well to follow us on our social media handles. We are at Obidati Family TV on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok. Okay, so just do well to follow us, and you can also send in your comments if you have anything to say about the topics that we discussed today or the interview that we had as well. You can also just drop your comments on our social media pages. All right, from all of us here in the studio, we're saying that you go out and get your PVCs, get ready to vote, and the candidate to vote is no other person but Mr. Peter Obi and Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. Thank you very much for watching the program today. Till we'll come your way again tomorrow. Have a blessed day.